is fire on the mountain, and nobody seems to be on the run. Oh, there is fire on the mountain top, and no one is running. I wake up in the morning, tell you what I see on my TV screen. I see the blood of an innocent child, and everybody's watching. Now I'm looking out my window, and what do I see? I see an army of a soldier man marching across the street. Hey.
The documentary you are about to watch X-ray New Frontiers of Inequality Trap that have been created by Nigerian electricity distribution service provider and its impact on the well-being of poor household. The new policy here is poverty and inequality linked to invisible billing of electricity in households? In this experimental research evidence, 3 different cohorts of consumer ignorance appears to be part of the major issue. 1. Some residential consumer with no kilowatt meter thinks that their household bill is a function or determinant of the number of rooms in their apartment. For example, some that live in 3-bedroom flats thinks that their bill should be significantly higher than those living in 2-bedroom. 2. Many households are less concerned of the causes of annual increase or jump in their electricity bill on a monthly basis. And so these are significant factors that serve as drawback on how to find solution to the issue of overcharge that experienced in Nigeria. In the exhibition of consumer ignorance, 3 basic microeconomic policy questions need to be addressed in order to understand the root cause of the problem, that is, invisible billing system. Households therefore need to understand that electricity consumption, which is an essential commodity, matters in this 21st century. As such, there is the need for consumers to be aware of questions such as what nature and degree of poverty presently affect your household. If you earn so much, are you aware of economic inequality trap? Thirdly, what is invisible billing system and how does this affect your future? 2014, our team of researchers conducted a study on electricity distribution, firm and downstream supply chain breakdown, and the major findings echoed loudly: beware of ghost. The question remains, what then is ghost, and how does this relate or correlate with invisible billing system? The short-term goal of this project is, however, aimed at creating new policy action to possibly correct the fairness gap inherent in Nigeria power supply and economic development shift, aligned with poverty reduction strategy in 2020. Therefore, a need to fill the knowledge gap for users of this documentary, as well as for poor households that are currently being trapped with inequality gap. However, the bulk of the invisible problem found in the study is largely attributed to uncontrollable estimates of kilowatt per hour unit of energy allocated to residential household consumers without metering tools when compared with average kilowatt per hour used up, although the unit found in meter in that house. However, important at this point to use a storyboard to describe the social impact of invisible billing system in the situation of Nigeria. First and foremost, we have an illustration where a head of household, the male head of household, was coming from the office, and when he got to his home, he found the electricity service provider already disconnecting his household from electricity usage. In the opinion of this user, he said, "I have not been paid 2 months' salary since the commencement of cash crunch in Nigeria." And what was the response he got in return? "I will not take any excuse this time." That was the response coming from the service provider. He's not going to take any excuse this time around unless the household clear the total debt. Surprisingly, the total payable debt of 98,060 kobo is the outstanding electricity bill owed by this household. The question is, has it been paid in the past, or is it paying its electricity bill regularly? I bet you a lot of complaint has been made and no one seems to be responding, neither the government nor the service provider. Our team of researchers have made concerted effort on ways and means to help households get out of this crisis. It seems that the problem is bigger than researchers' quest, and government need to be involved. We made effort to visit some houses, especially those headed by widow, and guess what we found? In the case of this widow, she had to use local fan at night to ensure that her own child sleeps well while she forgoes. An observed case where a nuclear family has to sleep outside because they live in an hot climatic area, exposing themselves to mosquito bites due to bushy environment, and also risk or suffer the risk of malaria illness. These are major instances that cannot be neglected, and government need to act because of additional costs which has to do an increase in public health demand and social costs for the government is one major policy area which government cannot fail and should not neglect. Moreover, adopting a general equilibrium analysis, our researchers found that government should not only act in the area of overcharge cases found in the hands of electricity distribution service provider, but also endeavor to expedite action and also trace that of public health service provider in government hospitals. In the 19th century, Adam Smith pioneered the concept of invisible hand in the theory of the moral sentiment and the wealth of nations. Whereas in the 21st century, when we are getting close to the end of Millennium Development Goals, which aimed at cutting poverty by half in 2015, the issue of invisible billing system is being found in Africa. One major example of shocks that was found in July 2015 was an example of a case between a tenant and his landlord, where the landlord claimed that the tenant is owing about 114,000 naira, in which the landlord forcefully ensured that the tenant take decisions of whatever it takes. Payment of a lump sum of money of 114,000 naira to electricity service provider in a bid to clear your bills, such as the situation or example in this case, amounts to double rent payable per annum for poor household. And so actions need to be taken before other household falls same victim of the invisible billing system, which is causing serious poverty and inequality trap. In conclusion, following the Sustainable Development Goal being pursued by the United Nations, that is, after the Millennium Development Goal is over, one of the strategies that our researchers advise, especially for household, is to educate children to switch off electric bulbs, especially in the morning hours before leaving to school, while parents also should be enlightened to make a trade-off between an incandescent bulb and energy saving bulb. These are strategies and measures to ensure that they conserve electricity and also ensure that they control the jump in their electricity prices or electricity bills that they pay on a monthly basis. Based on data evidence and additional findings made by our researchers, we therefore suggest that electricity distribution firms need to find the efficient demand frontier of kilowatt per hour unit of energy using probability estimate to determine fair weights and affordable demand for household with no meter